Hello my lovely angels, this is your girl Sim back with another episode of the Sim Squad. Hi! Been smelling a lot of different perfumes and I got a lot of new hauls and everything, and I felt like my nose was like overwhelmed, and right now I feel I'm being able to distinguish like everything properly and everything, and that is why I thought let me make this video before my nose gets broken again. And the season is changing again in the UAE, and before it does, let me just like get through this. Today I have a maceration update. Now this one is mostly for Paris Corner perfumes, but I have a couple of other ones as well that you guys will be like specifically interested in, because so was I. These were like very anticipated releases when they were released, and they were like slight bit of a disappointment to me, and I was waiting for them to like get macerated. So today will be the day I will be like, is it good? Is it bad? Which way did it go? You know? Let's start with the first one. Let's start with all the Paris corners. Let's get rid of them and then let's move on to like some special ones, yeah? So the first one is Khair. Now Khair, this range, it has Khair Pistachio, which I'll be understanding next. And then they have like a Khair Lychee, if I'm not mistaken. That's the pink one, which I do not have. I don't intend to, because it's a dupe for Kayali's Eden Juicy Lychee, or you know, the lychee perfume, and I'm not so appreciative of that perfume, so I honestly I don't care. Like, so I'm not gonna buy that perfume. I'm not like that kind of lychee. The candy lychee is not one of my favorite perfumes, so I'm not gonna get that. Now this one, Khair has, it was already like really good. It's a dupe for Imperial Valley by Giza, and it's still a gorgeous scent. I don't know why it was kept in my shelf. This should be in Ali's shelf because it's a very masculine fragrance. As a matter of fact, I feel this has macerated even better. Initially, it was very animalic fruity. Right now, also it's animalic fruity, but it's very well balanced. So it's an amazing perfume for a guy. I would not personally wear this because it's a little bit too on the masculine side for me. This cost me only US dollars approximately 20, and it was like insanely cheap, and I think anybody who buys this, especially if you're a guy, you're gonna be very happy with this perfume. It does smell a little generic now because I feel like there are too many perfumes imitating each other, and this is like one of those DNAs that were going about, and it had become very popular, and for good reasons. You know, it's a beautiful fragrance. The top notes for this are bergamot, grapefruit, and fruity notes. Middle notes of cedarwood, flowery notes, and patchouli, and the base notes of animalic, musk, and amber. So it's clearly like it starts off very zesty, but it's not an overwhelming zesty. It's not sharp. It's not like earthy. It's a very nice mellow zestiness, or more like a citrusness, and it's amazing. And then you get like a lot of earthiness and woodiness. And after that, you get this animalic hints. And it's a very well balanced perfume, so it does not bother me at all. Nothing like sticks out like a sore thumb in any which way. And I think it's a beautiful fragrance. I would love to smell this on Ali, not on myself. It is a very uncomplicated scent. It smells very much in the direction of suede or leather, but also it has like a hint of tobacco also, I feel, which is like not listed. But then I get this tobacco note from many other perfumes where it's not listed. So I don't know. There's some particular note. If you guys know which one it is, just let me know, because there's something about certain perfumes that instantly gives me that, not like lit tobacco. It's like the tobacco leaf, you know. Anyhow, this is a beautifully done fragrance. For me, this is a 10 out of 10. There's no Middle Easternness in this. It lasts very long, which is very rare with Paris Corner perfumes, unfortunately. But this one is like, it'll give you at least 7 to 8 hours of wear, and also it'll stay on your skin like for 24 hours, you know, like, but it'll be in a very mild format, and you just have to like keep refreshing it after every 6 to 7 hours, which is amazing, I feel. The projection is also quite excellent, so I think Khair is... Whoops. Plus the bottle is like a plus, right? Look how gorgeous it is. It's very stunning. I like this bottle. It's the color is very apt for this perfume. It smells exactly like this color. Slightly gloomy, slightly, you know, like very this color. Plus it smells a little royal because of the animalic notes and everything, and this the gold is not very gold, which I like, you know. So it's amazing. I'm going to put this on Ali's shelf because this is something he will like and he should be wearing. Now, the next one is its sister, which is the Khair Pistachio. Now this one was a dupe for Kiali's Yum Pistachio Gelato, and we all know how we felt about that perfume, and we know what we felt about this perfume. I'm not going to compare these two together because they are nearly identical. This one, again, it starts the same way. Now, I do like the pistachio gelato, but I have to be really in a mood to wear it, right? I like it, but I was expecting a very pistachio gelato. So I was expecting like a creamy pistachio scent, something in the line of Elisab's Girl of Now. But then what we got was like a more shampooy kind of pistachio, which I don't mind. It's a very nice perfume. It's just the opening that like bothers me because it's a little too shampooy, a little too salon-like. Like if you go to the lady salon for getting your hair done and everything, and you know that massive amount of hairspray they use sometimes gives me that vibe. The top notes for this are Italian bergamot, pistachio gelato, hazelnut, sweet rum, and cardamom. And you do get that initial very very mild bergamot, but the overwhelming note in this in the opening is the pistachio and the hazelnut. Pistachio. Pistachio and hazelnut. Just created another. We should make like a list of Siemens dictionary, Pistachio. So the pistachio and the hazelnut are the prominent notes in the opening. And then you have your cardamom, which is there in a very mild format, but again, you have that sweet rum, which makes it a little boozy. But all of these notes combine, especially the cinnamon and the hazelnut and the pistachio, it gives you that shampooy or the hairspray kind of perfume. Then your middle notes of geranium, white peony, miquette, jasmine, raspberry, white peach, and pear. Quite frankly speaking, the middle notes, yes, it's like a whole lot of fruits, but it kind of like merges into like a very perfumey note which just smells fruity, which is very very non-overwhelming. So the top notes are what dominates the perfume, right? The middle notes are there like as a supporting factor. So don't expect this perfume to get like very fruity or get those mix of fruits and flowers. It doesn't really get there. Then you have your base notes of whipped cream, marshmallow, cotton candy, Turkish delight, cocoa, cedar, and your sandalwood and tonka. So this is where the creaminess, the gourmandiness is supposed to come in. Takes like a long time for it to reach the base note, and finally when it does, yes, it does get slightly creamy, but it never smells like pistachio gelato. So don't expect like a very pistachio gelato kind of fragrance. It literally feels like you took like a bunch of pistachios in your hand and you smelled it. A little bit like of a sharp cardamom and rum note, which makes it like smell a little bit like hairspray. Finally, yeah, it does get creamy thanks to the sandalwood, and I'm assuming the culprit is the whipped cream, which makes it a little creamy. And that's a saving grace for this perfume. If you're looking for a dupe for pistachio yum gelato, so this again was about like $20, which is amazing. I personally do not like this fragrance. Neither was I very very fond of pistachio yum gelato. I would still wear the Kiali because I have the 10 ml, and when I'm in the mood, I might wear that. But like I can't imagine myself picking up Khair Pistachio and spraying myself, dousing myself in this. For me, this is like a very winter fragrance. Like in summer, it would claw me, it would choke me out. Very much like how a hairspray would choke you out, like if you overspray it, especially when you're not spraying it on yourself. If you're in the parlor and they're spraying it on somebody else and you're just like, it gives you that feeling. So yeah, although it's a beautiful fragrance, I have a feeling like sooner or later this is going to go in my declutter pile, unfortunately. I will still give this perfume like an 8 out of 10 because it is a good perfume. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm trying to be fair, guys, here. From now onwards, I'm like trying to be like, yeah, okay, I don't like the fragrance, but how is it as a perfume, right? But I'll always tell you how I feel about the perfume and ultimately what I think the perfume is worth. Since it's that cheap, because it's a dupe, 8 out of 10 is a good score for this. There's absolutely no Middle Eastern vibe in this. It lasts like forever, which is like amazing, like 8+ hours. And the projection also is like quite strong. It's like 3 to 4 feet. Like you don't need to spray too many sprays of this. Like 3 sprays to 4 sprays, maximum 5 sprays. You're going to claw people around you, going to choke people around you. It's a very, I feel, when you're going out with your girls or something, for a gathering or like a brunch or something, when you wear this, it'll be like amazing. So yeah, go for it. If you like pistachio yum gelato, this will be your Middle Eastern version, nearly like perfecting it. Next we have December Rose. I should do the vanilla rose first, but you know what? December Rose. I'll tell you why. This was supposed to be a dupe for Fenty perfume, and I have the Fenty perfume now with me. So I got the 10 ml of it. 10 ml? Yeah. So you get this when you go to the Fenty section, they have this 10 ml available and it's quite reasonably priced as well. So I got this, and the moment I sprayed it, I was like, you know what? I remember it so well, like how it smells. It's kind of like a smell that you will not forget because it's very, very, very Middle Eastern. Now, let me keep December on this side, always the Middle Easterns on this side. And then let me spray the Rihanna's perfume, Fenty perfume, on the other side. Right off the bat, I can tell you one thing. Rihanna's perfume doesn't go away from your skin. This one kind of gets mild. So the longevity on the Rihanna's perfume is like so much better. Now it's, okay, in the air and in the dry down, it'll smell the same, right? But when you smell them side by side, Rihanna's fragrance is a little bit more fresh and a little bit more, I feel, wearable. As compared to the December Rose, which for some reason gives me like a very, very blackcurrant and grape vibe. We actually have a shisha, a hookah, you know, a flavor over here which is called apple grape or something, and it smells very much like that. Now, if you're looking for a dupe, this is like a 90. I would say it's like a 90% dupe, right? Besides the fact that this is becoming a little bit too thick and syrupy, and Rihanna's perfume is a little bit more fresh. I do prefer Rihanna's version of it. But there was another perfume that I was very keen on trying side by side, because when I when I had the Fenty perfume next to me, I was like, it smells so much like another perfume I have. And that's the CDN Intense, the Club de Nuit Intense by Armaf. Now this one is supposed to be a dupe for Tom Ford's Noir de Noir. So let's see if I was right or wrong. They're not duping each other. Okay, of course, because CDN I think was released like much earlier, and Tom Ford's Noir de Noir had released long time ago. But they are so similar to each other. See, now the December Rose is getting like really, really, really mild, and it's becoming more and more indolic. Like you can actually smell like the fruits and everything, the stemmy part of it, you know. The geranium is like, I feel it's trying a little too hard in the December Rose, whereas in the Rihanna perfume, it's like all so well blended. And the CDN, it's like a more clubby version of Rihanna's perfume. What can I say? Like all these three perfumes, they're like so similar. But like, yeah, I'm glad that I got Rihanna's perfume, because side by side, December Rose is like, it's clearly a dupe, but it's not duping it 100%. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like when you smell it, you can actually smell the bouquet, you know, of flowers, even the stemmy part. Let me tell you the notes and you'll understand. So the top notes are blueberry and tangerine. The middle notes of rose, geranium and magnolia. And I think magnolia is what's giving it that a little green note as well. And then the base notes of musk and patchouli. It's a very, very rosy blueberry perfume. So that's where I'm getting that grapey, blackcurrant grape kind of vibe. Although it doesn't have those two notes at all. It opens like a very dark berry perfume, but then it like merges with the rose and the geranium. And the geranium and magnolia are quite prominent. And the greenness of the magnolia is like what's coming forward. The greenness of the geranium is what's coming forward. And then of course you have your base notes of musk and patchouli. Musk is like making it sweet, a little creamy. Patchouli is adding a little bit of earthiness, but not like in a very, very strong way. So yeah, the Middle Easternness in this is like really, really high. The longevity, I would say, of this perfume is like still like 6 to 7 hours. After 6 hours, it becomes very, very mild. And in the dry down, for some reason, that greenness keeps coming out more and more. This is what I felt, which I initially did not feel about this perfume. When I initially sprayed this, it was very overwhelmingly berry rose or grape. That's what I was feeling, like very, very grape. You know, the grape candy kind of taste was like coming in my head. But right now, it's becoming a little bit more floral. Funny enough, I'm appreciating it more now because the overwhelming note of that berry, I do not like it. And right now, the way it's smelling, I think I will be using this quite a bit during winter, fall, winter. So yeah, it did macerate much better, and while it's not like really like being a bang on dupe for Rihanna's perfume, I don't care, because on its own, it's smelling much better. Initially, I'd given this a 7.5 out of 10. Right now, I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. An impressionable perfume. So like if you wear this, people will remember you just like the Fenty perfume. Now, December Vanilla. Now, this was supposed to be a dupe for Kayali's Sugared Patchouli. You know me, I love Sugared Patchouli. I think it's a very different perfume. It's a very classy perfume. It's not for everybody, and this perfume is also not for everybody. So yeah, while it did smell like Sugared Patchouli to some extent, initially it was not really a bang-on dupe. So let me just like spray this right now, because I want to compare it from the beginning till the end. You have your Kayali's Sugared Patchouli. I have the 10 ml of it. And we're gonna see how it smells like in the opening and moving to the middle notes and the base notes. Yeah, the opening is like identical. It's crazy how, okay, if I can say that Kiali's perfume just smells a little bit more elevated. Like, I can't tell you why a perfume smells elevated. Perhaps it's the quality of the notes or quality of the ingredients they use. But Kiali's perfume just feels a little bit more. You just know this is an expensive perfume. Whereas this one, it's nice, but the rum is like what smells a little cheap in this one. Alright, let me tell you the notes for this. Okay, by the way, these perfumes again are like $20 odd in UAE, so it's very, very cheap to purchase, and really like not much thought went into buying these perfumes because it was like, okay, let me just try it. Now the thing is, in winter, I'll be like pulling this perfume out more. Initially, I was not very happy with the performance and everything, but right now it's become like so much better. The top notes are rum, vanilla, orchid, and jasmine. The middle notes of vanilla, spicy notes, leather, tonka bean, rose, creme brulee. And the base notes of brown sugar, amber, oud, patchouli, sugar, and musk. Guys, honestly, it just smells like rum, vanilla, orchid, and vanilla with some amounts of sugar and let's just say quite a bit of oud and patchouli towards the base. So it's a very, very, very sweet patchouli oud with tons of vanilla and the boozy rum in it. And I think it's a stunning perfume. Now, again, as I said about Kiali's perfume, it's not for everybody. In the dried out, I just feel the Kiali perfume becomes a little bit more wearable. On the other hand, the Paris Corner perfume, the December Vanilla, still is a little bit too boozy, yeah? Does it make it like a bad perfume? No, not at all. It's a stunning perfume. That's why even initially I thought these two perfumes were very, very good, and I still think they are very, very good. This one definitely has like a strong Middle Eastern vibe thanks to the oud in it. Actually, all the notes in it are like making it very, very, very Middle Eastern. I really like the way the vanilla orchid presents itself in this. Like, vanilla orchid is a note that can just disappear or like merge with other notes and become like one in this. Like, you can really smell it, and I'm really appreciating it. You actually get all the notes in bits and pieces here and there. Like, if you really carefully smell it and like try to read the notes and be like, oh, do I get spicy notes? Yes, I do. Do I get leather? I do. Creme brulee, rose creme brulee? I do. And then tonka bean, yeah. You know, all these notes, like one by one, you can actually smell it. The jasmine, everything does like come forward like in bits and pieces, and they all merge together and make it a beautiful fragrance. This is a 10 out of 10 fragrance. Initially, I'd given it a 7.5. I'm shocked. Right now, it's a 10 out of 10. Projection for this is like 2 feet, not more than that. But the longevity, it goes on for quite some time, 7 to 8 hours at least. For a perfume that's this cheap, I think it's unbelievable. Plus, I do quite like the packaging as well. It's nice. It's one of the few Paris Corner perfumes that I'm like, you know, like going crazy goo goo gaga over. But again, this will be used more during fall winter. Next, we have Club de Nuit Imperial. Somebody had told me that I had promised to review this again, like see what happened to it after maceration. To be honest with you, I've not touched this perfume in a very, very long time because, you know, I'm scared of this perfume. It is the Delina gone wrong for me. It's Delina with the very sharp rhubarb, very sharp green notes that I do not like. I just sprayed it so far and I can smell it. No, oh my gosh, that gasoline note is still so strong in it. Okay, this is a perfume that I need to get rid of ASAP. Yes, I will be breaking my Club de Nuit collection because I have like the whole set of all the perfume that's for women. But you know what? This one has to go. It's just like, it's just sitting and getting wasted. I'm going to put this in my December declutter for sure. So, but I'm going to keep it for now, right now. I'm just going to keep it aside. But I promise you, this has just not gotten better. And you know what? I'm not going to waste my time on this, guys. Next, we have Teriaq, which was the anticipated one, right? Now, this one, I remember I had told you guys that this smells like something Arabian mixed with label. And a lot of people criticized me. They were like, you don't know about perfumes. Somebody had commented, you don't really know about perfumes. Maybe you should go and study perfumes a little bit. Guys, I was just saying things what I think. And you know what? Kudos to myself. Go suck on a lime, whoever that person was. It smells very much like label. It smells like label along with, like in my head, I feel this is a mixture of label and what's that perfume? Eternal Oud. Yeah. You know what? Like, let me get the Eternal Oud. Okay, for the life of me, I cannot find Eternal Oud. I don't know where it is. Can you guys spot it? I don't know where it went. I'm sure it's there. And okay, I'm just being blind. I do dislike the cap of it, so maybe I've taken off the cap and maybe that's why I can't find it. Okay, so this, I do have Label as well. Okay, you know what? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna spray it on my hand, okay? Because Label is a perfume I would not like to waste. So Label, of late, has been reminding me of so many perfumes. The new Kiali's perfume also like kind of reminds me of this. Now this is like the perfume Teriaq was the one which was Quentin Biche, and so is Jean Paul Gaultier's Label. They both were done by Quentin Biche. Let me just air them out. By the way, Label is one of my all-time favorite perfumes. I really like it. I do like the Label Le Parfum as well, and I'm gonna get that too. But this one was like a little bit more special. Now Teriaq definitely has Label in the background. It smells nearly same as Label, mixed with, I feel, Oud Mood. Like if you had mixed Oud Mood like in, let's say, 20% and then you added like Label of 80%, you would get Teriaq. What I do not like about Teriaq, it's the same thing, the same initial impression I had got of it. There's something very stale in the background. Like that staleness is something I don't like. I'm gonna try and see if any of my other friends have this perfume, but I know everybody's smelling the same thing because there are people who actually love that background of it. Me, I like the part where it smells like Label. Like I can clearly smell the Label in it, but then there's, I think it's like the mixture of the vetiver and the labdanum, which is like not, there's something which I feel is not like, you know, the synergy is not there. Let me tell you the notes for this. By the way, this was like $42, which is not bad. $45. By the way, now that I'm putting my nose to it, does smell like angel share as well. So it's like a mixture of Oud Mood, not Oud Mood, sorry, Eternal Oud, Label, and angel share, if it's making sense to you. The top notes are caramel, bitter almond, pink pepper, and apricot. The middle notes of honey, white flowers, rose, and rhubarb. Freaking hell, is it the rhubarb? Base notes of vanilla, labdanum, musk, leather, and vetiver. There's something about it that's very off. Like, okay. I do like it slightly better than I did before, okay? It's not like a disgusting perfume or something I cannot wear. It's not like I'm going to get rid of this perfume. But I just don't get the hype. I don't understand why people are obsessed and they're like 10 out of 10, best perfume ever. Everybody's taste is different and I agree with that completely. So to me, please, again, I'm not saying bad perfume, good perfume. To me, this perfume is, I would give it an 8 out of 10 still. Okay, I had given it 8 out of 10, maybe lesser in the beginning. I would still give this an 8 out of 10. I wish that staleness was not there in the background. I'm pretty sure it's the labdanum, the leather, and the vetiver not like gelling too well. And honestly, like I'm not very fond of this perfume, but it's not like I'm going to get rid of this perfume. It's nice to wear once in a while. Maybe I'm going to mix this with Label. Maybe I'm going to mix it like if in future there's like a proper dupe for Label in from the Middle Eastern perfumes. Maybe I'm going to layer it with that. Maybe I will try to layer this like people would think that if you layer this with like more of vanilla or more gourmand notes, it'll get better. I feel this has to be layered with something fruity floral to make it like actually pop out, to get rid of that stale, weird scent in the background. As a matter of fact, the more I'm smelling it, I don't even feel like giving it 8 anymore. I feel like giving it a 7.5. But I'm going to stick to 8 for now. And let's see. I need to wear this like a lot more. I purposely wore this on my skin. It does smell a little Middle Eastern, although there's nothing in this that should be defining it as Middle Eastern. But labdanum is a note that's used in a lot of Middle Eastern perfumes, right? Maybe that's why it's giving me. So I would say the Middle Eastern vibe is like middle, like it's mild. The projection again is like around 2 feet, maybe 3 feet. It's improved like slightly. The longevity is insane. That's like the plus point of this perfume. It lasts like 8+ hours. I've sprayed this on my arm. I know this is like gonna stay for a very long time. Initially, the longevity of this perfume was trash, but right now it's like pretty good. I like it, but it's not like great, but it did macerate and get better. Now, last but not the least is Nashama, the original, Al Nashama. Now, if you remember, this one was a dupe for Paragon. It was a dupe for Initio's Paragon, right? And Latafa had released 2 perfumes which were similar. It was the Nashama and it was the Vintage Radio. And they both smelled so similar. But the difference was that I loved Vintage Radio. I quite liked it. I use it Can't make out if I've used much of it, but you know, at home, especially before bed, I love using this perfume. Just gives me like a certain comfort. Like, I think it has sage in it or something. Yeah, it does have sage in it, and it just gives me like this comforting feeling. On the other hand, Al Nashama, it used to give me a little detergent vibe, which if you guys know me like really well, I do not like that detergent vibe, right? And right now, yeah, it still does have that soapy detergent vibe in it, but it's reduced. Still love the vintage radio, and Al Nashama just has that weird note in it, which I'm not appreciating. I will still try to use this on daily basis and see like how I feel. I'll wear this to office because that's the only place I would kind of want to smell like detergent or like clean or something. But this is not like a clean smell, right? Clean smell is something I do like, but it's that detergent scent where you feel like you're smelling like a cleaning product. That's what like puts me off about this perfume. Now, even the packaging, some people loved it, some people hated it. I quite like this packaging. I don't mind it at all. If this color was obnoxious or something, I wouldn't like it. But you know what? Like, it's absolutely nice in my opinion. And when you open it, it looks like that. I think it's a nice packaging. So I wonder if this still needs a little bit more of maceration, because you know what, now that I'm like smelling it, I feel like this is very wearable, and I think I will wear it and try it. Initially when I sprayed it, I was like, this is not happening. I'm not gonna wear this. I'm never gonna, like, I wouldn't want myself to smell like this. This is what had happened with me with Ansam as well. I thought, you know what, Ansam will get better, the detergent smell is gonna go away. After a year and a half, I decluttered it finally, you know. So this one did get better, and some had not changed at all. The detergentiness, the soapiness in this is like, it's reduced to quite some level. But if I compare this, if you want to buy a dupe for a Paragon, this is definitely better than this one, yeah. Now, I know people love Nashama. It's got 4.64 on Fragrantica. So it's maybe just me. So don't like take my word for it, you know. If you feel like you can live with that slight detergent note, you know, I would like still go ahead and buy this. The top notes for this are pink pepper, bergamot and sage. Middle notes of plum, black pepper and jasmine. And the base notes of Saffiano leather, patchouli, amber and moss. So these are like all like dark fruits which have become like perfumey. And then you have your sage for it to be a slightly aromatic, give it like this little kick, you know. And then you have your animalic base notes which are like making this perfume a good perfume. Initially, I'd given this a 7 out of 10. You know what? Now I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It has like matured, it has macerated a little bit more, and I feel like why not? Like I might try it more. I'll try to wear this a little bit more and see how it goes. It's quite strong, by the way. Also, the longevity projection has increased. Initially, it was projecting like 2 feet. Right now, I feel like it'll project at least 3 to 4 feet. And the longevity initially was 6 hours. I would say now it has improved to 7 hours, not more than that. The Middle Eastern vibe is none at all. Doesn't smell Middle Eastern at all, despite of the leather and everything. See, now when I'm smelling it in the cap, it's smelling so much better, you know. So yeah, I think this perfume has matured for the better, macerated for the better, and I can't wait to use this. So yeah, guys, overall everything was fine except for Imperial, which I had expected that it would not be my cup of tea. It's just that gasoline, that green note is just like messing like with the perfume a little too much. And off late, I have so many other dupes of Delina that was so much better, you know, and I really cannot get with the Club de Nuit. I know a lot of people love it, and please go ahead and love the perfume, wear what you like, and I don't like it, so I'm not going to wear this, although I love the bottle, and I hate the fact that I'll have to break up my collection, but this has to go. This I can no longer stand this perfume sitting there and staring at me with its evil beady eyes. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I know this was a pretty short video. I hope it was, at least. I feel like I spoke not for too long. My mouth is not all that tired. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. I do have some more maceration videos coming up, but I still need at least 1 or 2 months for the new ones. You know, all those gourmandy ones, the vanillic ones, like caramel cascade, not the Teriaq, what was the toffee one? Eclair. Then you have your Kissa Delicious. You know, all those. I'm gonna like revisit them after 1 month. So maybe in July I'll have like a update for those as well. Till then, I'll keep trying them and see if they are getting better by the day. Yeah. Let me know if I've missed any of the macerations. Like I'm glad to whoever reminded me about this one. Just let me know if you want to know about any specific perfume that's sitting in my collection over here. If you want to know if it's macerated for the better or not, just let me know. Yeah, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. I really need a manicure. That's why I'm staring at my nails. Actually, Eid is coming up and I need to actually like get henna done and everything. So I'm trying not to touch my nails right now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.